caught by Nick Evans. Nick, the pain and the punishment. The ball is loose. Here comes Riverius Rivers, and Rivers into the end zone. And the gunsling.
Here's 3rd and 9. They are all 1 and 3rd down conversions. Coca has running room. He elects to flip it in the corner of the end zone.
Motion up top. Out of the end zone. Atkins will flip it. Got a receiver and flips over the wall.
On there. He's got to lay in the middle if he can get past it. And he might be good for a touchdown. There it is. And wow! Trayvon Sidney straight down the middle. Pulls a move on the kicker. And he's in the end zone for about 6.
And we're back, and I will always love the Trayvon Sidney kick return touchdown. One of my favorite moments from 2024 AFL.
Seeing the Rapid City Marshals on my computer screen always makes me smile.
Brings me so much joy. I'm not going to lie. I have a football game where I have a Rapid City Marshals team created, complete with the logo and everything, and some great alt uniforms that in another world they definitely broke out there at the Monument.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, well, what a weekend of football we had this past weekend, huh?
Oh my gosh, it's been some spectacular football, so much fun. I was trying to not get yelled at by my wife and the parents of the bride at a wedding this weekend while watching arena football. And then I'm doing a deep dive in the airport waiting for our flight and also waiting for the Sabres game to face off. And it was just great. And I got back and I watched more arena football because it was spectacular. Even on the tarmac, I did tune in for the ending of an IAL game on the tarmac for full degen mode.
Yeah. Yeah. The little hack for those going on travels. You can do YouTube Premium and download some of these YouTube streams. I've done that before where like flying out to Arizona or having like a long flight. Download a couple old games, download a couple new games.
Delta Wi-Fi will let you stream it live. So
there you go.
Delta Wi-Fi will let you stream it live. Well, I was on YouTube TV watching live. It was hockey, but it was great. So that's Trey. I'm Adam. This is Arena Football Weekly, and we're here for Buds, Brews, and Balls. So we're going to crack one. I got a hop water tonight, so it's
that was good.
Beer adjacent, but still delicious.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Trey, we've been off for a couple weeks because we've been kind of busy with travel and many, many other things. So, where do you want to start? Where are we starting this off?
Yeah, I mean, there were a ton of games. Like you look across just the leagues that we're going to cover today. I think I was doing the quick math, 14 different games that happened across NAL, AF1, and IFL. So I think there were only 3 in NAL. So let's start over in the National Arena League and get going there.
Listen, shout out to the Omaha Beef coming off the Onomaha list finally.
Round of applause, everyone. Round of applause. They did it. They did it. Good job, Omaha. You finally did it. We're proud of you.
I mean, Geo Sanders looked great. I will give them that. Oh, like, yeah. I will say that. It's like Geo Sanders, cut from the Washington Wolfpack and lands there. Great get. And they finally have a quarterback. So makes sense.
Yeah, Devonair Conliffe, he's an unbelievable wide receiver. He got cheap shotted in the Salina game about a month back, and he was sidelined for there. So being able to come back, get him in full effect, get Daquan Dudley, a.k.a. Houdini Dudley, in the mix too. Multiple touchdowns from each of them. But Devonair Conliffe, he's just a big play machine. He can stretch the field. He's a big-bodied receiver. He played a little defensive line for the Duke City Gladiators a few years back. So I love seeing players like that are just so versatile. And he was really the engine that kept the offense running in the wide receiver room. But yeah, shout out to Gio Sanders for coming in and doing what he needed to do. 10 completions, 6 of those going for touchdowns. That's a pretty good ratio.
No, it was a great one, and he spread the love. Daquan Dudley and Lorenzo Thompson both getting involved as well, making some big plays for the Beef. Of course, coming off a rough stretch because they did lose to the Southwest Kansas Storm. Southwest Kansas Storm, we eat real beef, out in Kansas. Great. Love this shirt. Shout out to the Storm for shipping this all the way to Carolina. And speaking of Kansas, we had a spectacular come from behind victory and another iteration of I don't know that we have a great name for it, but the Kansas Showdown, the Throwdown in Kansas, the Sunflower Showdown, whatever we want to call it. But every one of these games is a banger. I don't think we've had an iteration of this game that wasn't a banger going back to like 2023. I know 2024, especially from 2024 onward, I don't think they've played in a non-one score game. And I think many of those have been 3 points or less.
Yeah, and this one was a lower scoring matchup, but it was like you said, it was a better game than the scoreboard indicates. So even if you're an arena guy who's like love high scoring, only high scoring, this one I think can tickle your fancy just a little bit between two teams that are both very, very good. And Southwest Kansas able to stay undefeated, and Salina looking like, all right, what happened to the Salina from the first month or so of the season?
Yeah, I mean, and it's tough. Southwest Kansas always is going to show up defensively. And then additionally, they went out and changed quarterbacks. Matt Struck, no longer the quarterback. Trey Self, now the quarterback for the Storm. And they haven't really missed a beat, and Jaden Sutton is just a beast at running back for them. 75 rushing yards in the 50-yard game is absolutely wild. And the Liberty just, they're stalling out a little bit. Lewandowski wasn't as efficient as he was. And Tracy Brooks had a good productive game, but 18 rushes for 48 yards is a rough outing, to say the least.
Yeah, and in these types of games, you look for somebody like a Duke Williams to really rise to the occasion and be that big play receiver in the red zone, and it just wasn't the case here. They got all their production on the ground, and like you said, Evan Lewandowski still looking to get back into the rhythm where he was just stroking passes all over the field and getting everybody involved early in the season. But we're entering the crunch time of the NAL season, where all right, got about a month or so left of the regular season before we kick things off into the playoff mode. And looks like both of these teams are firmly going to be in the playoffs at this point. So may not be the last time we see them. I think they match up one more time in the regular season, but wouldn't be surprised to see them match up in the postseason either.
If you're a Salina fan, are you concerned about Evan Lewandowski? Because he did okay, but he struggled here in some of the tougher games, and they've lost some close ones. And he doesn't seem to be able to get a guy like Duke Williams going. Now, I still don't know. Duke Williams might just be all hype because he's like, oh, he played in the 100-yard outdoor game. He should be great in the 50-yard game, because he might not. It is a very different skill set. It emphasizes a lot more route running. It's not just straight line speed, but he's a big-bodied guy, should be able to elevate. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where I start to have some questions. I have questions about if Evan Lewandowski is the guy for Salina. Trey Self seems like he could be the dude in Southwest Kansas. I'm still curious. Do you know? I haven't heard. Why'd they move on from Struck?
I'm not 100% sure. I've not been as dialed into the NAL doings and things and
There's
stuff.
a lot of ball going on right now.
There's a lot.
It's hard to keep it all straight right now.
Yeah. Well, with Lewandowski, I wouldn't be too worried, primarily because he's not really having any backbreaking mistakes. Like if he was having those instances where like, brother, what was that? What are we doing here? He's not really having any of those. And you look at his stats for this past game, 19 for 26, 131, along a 14. He's finding his guys.
You're skipping over the key stat, though. And that's 0.
Yeah.
0 points in the second
Exactly.
half for the Salina Liberty. Granted, it was a defensive slugfest in the second half because Southwest just scored 12. But when these two teams get together, it is some knockdown dragouts. And we've seen high scoring games, we've seen low scoring games, we've seen it all with both these teams. And it's just, they come to play. They really want to beat each other. They have a very healthy respect for each other, but they want to beat each other very badly every time they play.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's cause for concern yet. Like that could come, but like I said, he's not having those backbreaking moments. He's not ruining the game for you. He could definitely be elevating the offense a little bit more, but I don't think the panic button is even in sight at this point, because he's the one that led you to a massive victory over Omaha, led you to a great victory over Colorado. He's still that guy, but I would also challenge some of his supporting cast to rise to the occasion as well.
Yeah. And heading out to the Sioux City Bandits versus Pueblo Publishers. Pueblo Punishers. Sorry, Pueblo Publishers. That would be a name right there. I am all for the offbeat weird name, like Barrels, hands down. I know I'm biased on Barrels. Okay,
it's a skull reading a book. That's what the Publishers is.
Yeah. Love it. But the Punishers lost Aaron Dilworth, and it seems like they're in trouble now because they are sliding as of late.
Yeah, Josh Hollins has not looked like the MVP candidate that he was over the first month of the season. This one, less than 50% completion percentage. That's the biggest red flag, I think, on arena ball for me, is when a quarterback has less than 50% of his passes completed, whether you're looking at indoor rules, arena rules, that's usually something like, okay, something ain't right here. But given that he wasn't able to get things done going through the air, he was able to be impactful on the ground. He also got Joel Shaw in the mix as well, both of them combining for nearly 130 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. But what made this Punishers team so impactful was their ability to stretch the field with an Aaron Dilworth, where you're in the red zone. All right, we could be throwing a jump ball to the corner. Dilworth is going over the wall 3 times, and he's going to catch all 3 of those for touchdowns. They don't have that threat anymore. So where is that going to come from? Where do they look at this point? And credit to Sioux City for being able to, just out slugfest them in a way where, Lorenzo Brown didn't really have a great game passing either, but he was able to find the end zone and get people involved and in the mix.
Yeah, and, we're getting down to it. Pueblo, only 3 games left, 2 of those against in-state rival Colorado. This could be a very tough stretch for them as we close out the season. Colorado's taken a little bit of a step back, without Paxton Lynch, but Javin Kilgo is a capable quarterback. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they finish this out here they seem to be heading the wrong direction.
Yeah. And that's the frustrating thing and the beauty of arena ball, where like someone like a Dilworth can, go to different pastures. And he signed with Albany. Is that?
Yep, he signed with Albany.
Yeah, so it's
the rich get richer.
Yeah, they certainly didn't need a wide receiver in that crowded room, but they got one anyway. So, it's something where it's like, dang, that would have been sweet to see him ride it out in Pueblo and then get started in the TAL season kicking off in about a month or so. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
But good for him. Probably came with a pay raise, so hard to really fault him.
Yeah, I don't fault them at all. But yeah, Sioux City, big win for them as they kind of got back on track. And they start off a little slow not a little slow, but had 2 early losses, but they've been clawing back into the race, and you blink and they're suddenly 3rd in the standings, which is where you're used to seeing this Bandits team.
Yeah. So going to be an interesting stretch to close it out here. Heading over to AF1. Taking a look at that. Which game you want to start with? Do we want to just
rip the Band-Aid off?
Rip the Band-Aid off. We can rip the Band-Aid off.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. The Cats are back. Cats are officially back.
I think the Cats are back.
Well, did you see my T-shirt? The T-shirt says the Cats are back. Therefore,
I did see the shirt. Here's here's my issue with saying the Cats are back.
Yep.
Is they played Washington, and Washington is struggling right now.
Yes.
And I can't. This was a wild game to watch. If you ever want a wild experience, watch one of these baffling games after you already know what happened, and be texting your co-host who was at the game and watched the whole thing live, and just be asking for points of clarification, because I'm sitting there like, they're moving the ball. How are they stalling out like this? Like, the ball is moving down the field. The offense is firing. Ave Magalai doesn't look terrible. Has the start of looking like an arena quarterback. I liked what I saw. The arm is live. He kept plays alive, and he just had some bad drops from his receivers. First of all, like, that's tough. And the defense again didn't play bad. 14 points in the second half for the Pack defense.
Yeah, and
but
I go ahead.
But you score 3 points somehow, despite them moving the ball up and down the field. Just some drives that stalled out terribly in the red zone, like inside the 15.
Yeah, and the Cats looked a little rough in the beginning of this one, where I think it was midway through the second quarter. It was only 16-0, like maybe 16-3 at one point. You know, with like 7-8 minutes left in the second quarter, if Washington had a pulse, they could have been easily in this game. And yeah, they looked better, even though it didn't show it on the scoreboard. 3 is still 3 compared to that first game of the season, but
which is like, well, it's the same number of offensive points. So
it is, same number of offensive points. Yeah.
So still, I never thought I'd see an arena football team sitting in week 3, with 0 offensive touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think that the frustrating thing for me with this one, in which I had a chance to meet up with Scott from AF1 Fan Zone at the Nashville games. Shout out to Scott, and got able to chat with him throughout the game. And they have the pieces. They're just not utilizing the pieces the right way. Like you got Quintavious Workman, who is 6'6", 6'7", depending on how tall his cleats are that day.
Depending on which source we're talking about.
Exactly, yeah. So he's a weapon. Like, obviously you throw it to him on a post, get him downfield, get him in jump ball situations. But Washington is putting him in a screen and throwing it to him behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you throwing long balls to Brandon Lambana, the smallest wide receiver on the field, when you have 6'3"
Lambana? The thing is they're all getting open, and it's just the balls. I don't know if they're not used to the spin. I don't know what it is that they're not coming through, because there were a couple where I was like, they dropped that. Like, Lambana had 2 that went right through his hands, and Workman had 1 in the end zone that he alligator armed, and that's tough to watch. Like, he had it. Like, he won on a corner route, and it was almost like he wasn't expecting the ball. And that's just the interesting thing. It's just there's lots of little weird things. And the Wolfpack defense did okay. Like, I think some reinforcements on the defensive line is going to be good, but that's a lot of talk about Washington. Nashville looks solid. Tyler Kulka, honest to God, played like a guy who probably was a little distracted because he just had a kid this week and was focused on being a good dad. So, you know, if this is Tyler Kulka at probably his worst all year and least prepared, I think Nashville's going to be okay.
Pretty good, yeah.
And I think Malik Honeycutt is everything we thought he'd be in preseason. Just absolutely a monster out there right now.
Yeah, and I think it was good to see BK Smith Jr. getting in the mix as well, where it wasn't just the Malik Honeycutt show, where early on they were trying to feed Honeycutt. They just weren't totally clicking in that first quarter and parts of it into the second quarter. But he's going to get his throughout the season, so I don't think there's any fear there. But Jaquan Artis, this guy was just he was having his way with the offensive line of Washington, to the tune of 5 sacks, getting that AF1 Defensive Player of the Week award. And I can tell you, as someone in the building, he could have had more, because any chance he got around that guard, it seemed like every single play it was just a turnstile, like there was no stopping him. So yeah, defensively they did a really nice job. Washington had their shortcomings and their own self-inflicted wounds, but playing against this Nashville defense, when I was there watching everybody warm up, I was like, oh yeah, they have that guy. They have Trey Meadows. Oh yeah, they have Derek Jones. Oh yeah, they have Amos Coleman. I'm like going through this roster. I'm like, oh dear. this is a squad. Like, this is a dang good team. So yeah, this Nashville team's not going anywhere, and they're going to be very, very good this upcoming season, or for the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to seeing them clash with the Kentuckys and the Albanys to get a true litmus test here.
Yeah, I mean, those are the games we're all counting down to, between that top tier. Speaking of the top tier, the other member of the top tier in action, the Albany Firebirds, made a road trip all the way out to Bend, Oregon. Nice to see that, get that cross-country trip, and looked like a decent turnout for Oregon. But
yeah,
Albany shook off the jet lag and showed that they came to play, and we got the full Dalton Cole experience.
Oh, Cowboy Cole was out there.
It's the most exciting, it's the best experience. There is nothing like just the vibe that is a Dalton Cole game, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to drop this 50-yard dime down the field, and then, oh, by the way, I'm going to just back foot arm punt this next one to nobody in particular and just let it fly. And it's great. It's just such a wonderful experience. When we embody, when we just conceptualize AF1 After Dark, Dalton Cole is AF1 After Dark.
He's the face of it for sure. Yeah, and there was, for watching this Oregon game, you could tell they were just off. Quarterback and wide receivers, they were just off. There were several times Chris Lewis was in high man motion. Dalton snaps it real quick, throws it real quick, because the coverage was like the DB was 10, 15 yards off. So Cole saw, okay, I can hit him quick, let him dance and get 7-8 yards. And the wide receivers were just not reading the same thing and not on the same page. So I was pretty encouraged by what I saw, despite what the final score indicated, because early in this game, Oregon was going down the field. They were dictating the tempo. They were dragging Albany down into the mud a little bit and making them play on their level. And Albany was just able to pull away, and that's not surprising to see the Firebirds do that. But I think despite the final result, it was encouraging to see both on and off the field for this Lightning team.
No, it was a good game. It was a good game. The Oregon offense, you want to see it get a little more in sync, and I think they will be down the stretch. And I think they're going to catch some folks by surprise as we work through the schedule. Speaking of a vibe, 3 of the top 5 receiver touchdowns are Albany Firebird right now. Darian Townsend has 5, Dwayne Brown has 5, and Tyrese Chambers has 5. And don't forget, they just signed Aaron Dilworth too. So like, it's just who's going to have a game on what week, and they're just spreading it around really well. Josh Kolk is doing a great job distributing it. 66 for Dwayne Brown, 73 for Tyrese Chambers, 52 for Darian Townsend, and Isaiah Scott had 24 as well.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, just forgot. They all had at least one touchdown. Like Josh Kolka, is he the better Kolka brother? I don't know, but I think he might have a better supporting cast. But also, Tyler has Malik Henry. When's Kolkamania 1? Like, that's what we're all counting down to. How?
Oh no, let's look on the back of the shirt.
What's the look on the back of the shirt? Let's see. You're a little far away. Oh God, we gotta wait until June for that. Oh God,
brutal.
June 20th.
Brutal.
Just can we get a time
Absolutely
machine?
brutal.
I need to fast forward 2 months to get to Kolkamania 1 and in Nashville. Trey, I might need to fire up the car and take a road trip for that, and we might need to be boots on the ground for that one. I'll pick you up on the way through.
Yeah, and this Firebirds offense, like they just have a plethora of weapons. Like that's the only way you could say it, and you summed it up perfectly. Who's going to have the big day? Are you going to focus on Dwayne Brown?
Trayvon Shorts had 35 yards on the ground and a touchdown.
Yeah, and he's the spark plug out of the backfield too, right? So it's just there's just so many different ways they can get you. And it's like, all right, it was Dwayne Brown this week. I think it was Townsend last week, and it's like, oh God, the rotation is going to be crazy.
Then that's the thing. It's pick your poison, and just when they finally get firing. Speaking of experiences, we got the Malik Henry experience in the negative.
Brother,
this week. Trey sent me a text. What was it? 2 weeks ago, and it was like Malik Henry threw 27 back foot passes, and that was when I realized. That was when I realized I needed to do more work to get on Trey's level. So I've been dedicated to that. I'm working on my notebooks, my scouting one pager. I had it as I was sitting in the airport. Anybody who walked by would have been very confused because I just have, a page of ramblings and random notes that I'm sitting there just chalking up.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the first one, I was like, okay, this is going to be a long day. Like we're a minute into the game and we already have the first back foot pass. Yeah. And that, like you said, that's the beauty of Malik Henry is that he is one of the best arm talents in all of indoor arena football. There's no denying that. It's the everything else that puts him into trouble where he knows he has one of the best arms in indoor.
He knows he can make every single throw. He knows he can get himself out of every single jam. Unfortunately, he also works himself into jams that he doesn't necessarily need to. And even then he still wasn't terrible. He was just inaccurate. Everything was just a little off.
Yeah, the main counterpoint to what we're saying here is his O-line wasn't giving him much help. No, they weren't. They could have helped him out a lot more. A lot of his errant passes, a lot of his back foot theatrics throwing the ball was due to pressure. There's no denying that.
He got sacked 5 times. That's a rough day.
There were several times through the game where he had time. He had a pocket, and he still back foot throw it. If you want to play a fun drinking game for the people at home there, watch this Minnesota-Michigan game and drink every single time the announcer says Henry off his back foot. I promise you that you're going to be in a state of mind.
Arena Football Workly, Alt Fantasy Sports, Off the Wall, Trey and Adam are not legally liable for any damages incurred while playing said drinking game.
It'll be rough. You'll get nice and toasty there. But yeah, Henry, he's such a good
We have koozies to keep your hands warm as you swap beers out as well.
Exactly. Yeah, he's such a good quarterback, and he's got the weapons there. But fundamentally, if he just cleaned up some of these things, and if he just had half a second more time from his O-line, this Michigan offense would be incredible. And them falling down 29-0 to start the game, that's eye-opening. Absolutely eye-opening.
And they battled back. They fought and battled back the entire way. Down that big and then coming back. Defense steps up in the second half. 8 points in the second half out of the Monsters offense. So the defense really clamped down. And Minnesota played well. Trey, we were talking pregame about how we were wrong.
Oh, yeah.
About another quarterback we had doubts on. And I'm feeling like I might be a little more wrong about Javonte Johnson. Yeah. I'm less convinced that I'm wrong about Javonte Johnson, but, we might still be wrong about Javonte Johnson.
Yeah, I was impressed with what they were able to do on offense with Johnson out there. But then I was also really impressed with what they were able to do running the ball. You got Shannon Brooks, the more prototypical running back that you would see probably in the IFL or the NAL. He was lined up at that fullback spot, and he was able to be impactful on the ground. You look at Travis Whitlock. Big Travis Whitlock he got 8 carries for 21 yards and a touchdown in those short and goal situations. So they find creative ways to utilize the pieces that they have to the biggest potential. And once they got into the red zone, they were really able to punch it in. So opening things up through the passing game, I think Johnson's durability was a little bit of a concern, and it sounded like they didn't really dive too far into it, but that was the reason why Tariq Starks got into the game. Johnson got a little hurt, and they were up 2 scores, so not an insurmountable lead, but Starks went in there. He didn't really have any backbreakers and just kind of continued the flow of the offense from there.
Yep. And that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see from your backup quarterback. And then the surprise game of the weekend Hope you had your popcorn. Hope you didn't miss it on Sunday night. The Oceanside Bombers and the Beaumont Renegades going toe-to-toe, blow for blow, old school arena football. During the week of, test game, it's test game week 40 years ago. To get a game of this caliber is spectacular. You love to see it. And Rudy Johnson, haters said you couldn't do it. Haters said you weren't going to be effective. It's me. I'm haters. I was
looking
wrong.
in the mirror.
I'll eat my words. Rudy Johnson, well done, sir. Spectacular performance. 76% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, and you just put on a masterclass. Tajay Brooks, Jalen Tucker, absolutely cinema, and Tajay Brooks had himself a week. Just Oceanside. Well done. Oceanside looks like a playoff contender the way they've played early. It's great. And, on the flip side, Beaumont, Andrew McBride, where did he come from? From the top rope with the metal chair out of nowhere. 6 touchdown passes and a receiving touchdown. Just chef's kiss.
The receiving touchdown was nice. It was a little Philly special-esque where a little pitch out to the wide receiver, stop, throw it back. It was nice. And McBride is a product of the National Scouting Combine. So nice little plug for the AF1's partnership with the National Scouting Combine. Yeah, 304 in arena.
Josh
304 in arena is crazy.
Yeah, Josh Koka's also an NSC product. So NSC giving us the next generation of arena quarterbacks. Great to see. Love.
Yeah, and McBride was slinging it. He was letting it loose. And the thing was, there were a couple missed opportunities there. Like he could, if they can get a little more time with, Vince Wilkerson, with your Zuri Davis, with your Jeremy Neal, like this could be the norm out of this Beaumont team. And it makes sense when you look at Corey Mayfield, that head coach. He's an old school AFL guy. He knows what you need to do to be successful in a traditional arena offense. And it looks like McBride is what they need to be successful in this league with this rule set. So yeah, McBride, hell of a game. Was he offensive MVP or was he? I believe there's MVP and offensive player, right?
I believe he was just MVP.
Okay, MVP.
But whatever he was, well-deserved honor.
Absolutely,
without a doubt.
Very well-deserved, yeah.
And then, I mean, that's it. We'll get to AF1 look ahead, but just starting to fire on all cylinders there in the AF1, and that's great to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now heading over to the IFL, where, speaking of old school arena football, we kicked it off with the Green Bay Blizzard and the Orlando Pirates, 71-68.
Yeah.
Now, Trey, this is another instance.
Yeah.
There were haters who said, Liam Thompson, who that? Who's that guy? And how is he going to hold a candle to Max Mailer?
Yeah.
It was you and I. We're haters. Liam Thompson, we are so sorry. We were not familiar with your game. We should have been.
Yeah.
On the flip side, we were totally right about Paxton De Laurent. So you win some, you lose some. You talk enough, and you talk enough out your rear end, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And we were all winners in this game.
Yeah, this was that prototypical old school AFL game where it was about who got the stop. Not how many stops, it was the stop. And
the one stop.
Yeah, and Green Bay had 2 of them in the first half where it wasn't a full stop. They forced them into field goal attempts, which Orlando ended up hitting. But it was enough where if they're scoring 3 instead of 7 twice, that's an 8-point differential. And that ended up being the difference in the ball game late when Green Bay was able to kick a field goal with less than a minute left. So an incredible cover of plus 8.5, by the way, scoring a touchdown with no time left. Oh, no, love it. Absolutely love it. But yeah, it was another instance where the Pirates offense was clicking. They looked unbelievable in this one. They had an A- game. Unfortunately, Green Bay had an A++. It was one of those situations.
Travel matters, I think, because Orlando started slow and then came roaring back in the fourth quarter. A great, almost fourth quarter comeback. You love to see it with the backdoor cover. Gotta love that as well. And 10 touchdowns through the air for between the quarterbacks. That's what you really love to see. And one of those, that Liam Thompson, they both had like a full field, chuck it deep, chuck it up. Absolutely spectacular. And no picks thrown by either quarterback. No turn. Is this
it was a clean
This
game.
was a no turnover game across the board.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, again, the difference in the game was forcing Orlando into 2 field goals in the first half. Like that was the difference in the game because both offenses were clicking. Both teams had kick return touchdowns. Like every possible way you could score a touchdown in this game, they pretty much did. So Orlando is looking for answers on defense. This is a stat I put in the What We Learned blog that I put on offthewallfb.com, where ever since Rob Keefe resigned as head coach, they've had massive issues on defense. 55, I believe it was 63, and then 71 points allowed in the 3 games in that order. Reinforcements are supposedly on the way to Orlando. We'll see what ends up happening with that. They have a bye week to kind of get their eggs in order and get everything situated there. But they got to figure something out on this defensive side because the offense is clearly doing what they need to do. Rod Windsor is an offensive-minded coach. He's been one of the best coordinators in all of indoor football over the past couple of years. Defensively, they need some help badly.
Yeah. And then as we head to the Saturday games, tough outings for Naz and New Mexico. Multiple word team locations struggled on Saturday.
As good as that Green Bay Orlando game was, that's how bad this Naz San Antonio game was. It was a rough watch. It was like these being back to back. It's like I'm watching entirely different sports. Like what is happening?
Yeah. I mean, and it's interesting that Naz came out and decided, no, we're good. We don't need more Ramon Atkins. Let's put Caleb Lowe under center.
Well, that's the thing. Atkins has not been good.
He's been okay. He started okay, and he just what?
He's gotten worse as the season goes on.
Do they miss Sia Burley at all? Like, do they miss him, his offensive play calling? Like, that's a genuine question because, like, they started to close out and look competent to end the year with Burley. And it seems like they regressed during the offseason.
Yeah, it's like they got better roster-wise, I think, especially when you look in the trenches. But yeah, play calling-wise, it's not working. It's off. Like do you just need a new blood in the mix at quarterback, period? Because if you don't win this one against San Antonio, you got one against Iowa in a couple weeks. But
also, we're back to Fred Payton in San Antonio.
where do you find a win if you're Northern Arizona? I'm having a hard time finding it. And San Antonio, even then, I don't know if I pick Northern Arizona.
I don't necessarily pick it, but it's like I guess.
Yeah,
like,
it's
what happened to Collazo? Like, he was playing well.
So Peyton started the season as QB1.
Yeah, I remember.
Didn't play well. Collazo came in, played for a couple games. He hasn't been really playing well either. And I think San Antonio's in that tragic situation of if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. Yeah. Where, Peyton has the hot hand now. Does he have a bad half the next game, and do they go back to Collazo? It feels like they're falling into that trap where there were moments of inspiration where you're like, okay, Fred Payton's got it, but he's another one where you look at the stat sheet, and what did I say earlier about 50% completion percentage? He's another one where he dipped right below that.
When do we get Jonathan Bain coming off the bench, ripping off the headset, and just coming into the game longest yards time?
Coach.
It's been a minute since we've had a player coach.
Yeah, might be sooner than you think. But yeah, the defensively, San Antonio played really well in this one. I mean, they got plenty of help from Northern Arizona, tripping over their own feet at times. But Rivarius Rivers, fresh off of his UFL stint and probably getting called back up at some point. He's just such a talented defensive back and is really leading the charge for this Gunslingers defense. But yeah, Gunslingers good for them, finally getting in the win column. But Northern Arizona, woof.
Yeah, this got all the turnovers from the Green Bay Orlando game with
and more.
8 total turnovers. So we picked some up. We paid it forward a little bit.
It all comes out in the wash, yeah.
And then the other rough one, Jerome Johnson did not have a good homecoming going back to Lee's Family Forum in Nevada. And again, I don't know that that's so much him as it is a lack of a supporting cast around him. Like, you see the pieces in this Chupacabra team, but they're missing some key pieces. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I don't remember if it was you or if I don't remember it was Zach. It was like, I feel like we need to find some more 50-yard football players because we're running out of good ones. And who's going to start to find the next group of guys? Because we don't have enough quarterbacks right now to sustain 3.5 leagues. And I think there's some receiving talent needed as well. And there's always a need for linemen, but you need some of those splash players as well. And Vegas is a wagon. Like, Jaden DeLaura, played an okay game, nothing spectacular through the air, but they were just dominant. They just imposed their will with 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and that was the thing. This was a rough game for Vegas, and they scored 48.
Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know right now, where this Vegas team, once they're rolling, they're rolling. Like, they can be so good, and they get Quentin Randolph activated, get him through the air, through the ground as well. Josh Tomas, just the Swiss Army knife. He can do anything and everything on the field. And New Mexico came out. They punched Vegas in the mouth a little bit, and this was a close game for about 20 minutes. But then Vegas kind of had that self-actualization of like,
for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're the Vegas Nighthawks.
We're the Vegas Nighthawks, and you're not. And so from that moment on, they just started piling it on. And for New Mexico, it's never easy to win a game when you have 4 turnovers on downs, 2 interceptions and a fumble. I might have those flipped, the interceptions and a fumble. I think it was 2 interceptions and a fumble. When you have 7 drives come up pointless, it's tough to beat anyone, especially when you're playing the Vegas Nighthawks, who are the defending champs. So, really, like, a good game from Vegas. I expected this to be much, much worse, all things considered. But, New Mexico, clear difference in where they're at as programs. And they mentioned on the broadcast, inaugural season for New Mexico, it took Vegas time to get to where they are now. It took them 3-4 years. It's going to take time for this New Mexico program to build out as well. But, they were just outmatched.
Yes. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. We'll get there. Okay. I was clicking through standings to check something on the app. I was like, wait, did I miss that? I feel like that would have been bigger news. We're skipping ahead, but the Jacksonville Sharks Quad City Steamwheelers game is listed as a tie in some places.
Yeah, it was not. I saw that earlier. It was not.
I was just baffled for a minute. Like, that just threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, I definitely would have gotten text. I know I was out of pocket for part of this weekend, but I would have gotten text like, oh my God, there's a tie. What the hell? Okay. Sorry. Distracted, jumped ahead. Fisher's Freight, Iowa Barnstormers. The Freight are a wagon as well. Like,
they are. Yeah.
That's just it. Like, it's the Freight and the Blizzard in the East, and it's going to be one of those 2 teams, and I think it's going to be great. And anybody's going to be hard pressed to beat the Blizzard right now with how well they're playing.
Yeah, and for the Freight, we talked about San Antonio. We don't know what they are. We don't know who they're trying to be. We know exactly who the Freight are. They're going to run the ball 30 times. They're going to get 5 to 6 yards per carry. There's nothing you can do about it. Felix Harper is going to throw 8 to 10 passes on play action, score 3 to 4 touchdowns, and they're going to put 50 before you blink. And that's who they are. That's what they've done.
And they did this weekend without Josiah King.
Yes. Dominic Roberto, he can be the bell cow back.
Did I miss this?
Yeah, he got dinged up, I believe, at the end of the Arizona game. So he's been out for a little bit. But yeah, this, like, even without Josiah King, they didn't miss a beat. Like, they just maintained the same approach. Rotated in Dominic Roberto, handed off a few times to JT Stowe. Like, they have the weapons on offense to really be impactful and to really lean on teams. And unfortunately, I was in a spot where they're going through identity stuff right now, where Ivan Corbin seems like he's going to be the guy moving forward, kind of fits that prototypical mold of dual threat quarterback. He's more dual threat than he is quarterback at this point. Able to run the ball really, really well. But
I mean, Fishers is a tough defense to play. I'll give him that. Fishers is a tough defense to play.
It is a tough defense to play. Yeah, and credit to Iowa. This was closer in the second half than I think the box score indicates, and a lot of folks may realize, where Iowa was hanging around. And it can be dangerous in the indoor game when you have a team that's just hanging around. When you have a team hanging around, you can't put them away. Fishers eventually did, as the scoreboard indicates. But this Barnstormers team, this is a brutal stretch of games to start the year. They play Fishers twice, Green Bay twice, and Quad City twice. That's their first 6 games of the year.
Yeah, that's
tough. That's tough.
That's not a stretch I want.
It's not great when you're trying to rebuild a program like what they're trying to do in Iowa. But yeah, Fishers looks unreal. They continue in their stretch, and they've only played one bad half of football all year, and it was against Green Bay the first time they played. So we get them hosting Green Bay this upcoming weekend, jumping ahead a little bit. So that'll be a very, very fun matchup.
Yeah. Then another banger, certified Rattlers and Tulsa Oilers, 64-63. Max Mailer, he is him. TJ Edwards also might be him. Like, can we have 2 hymns? I think that's okay. I think that's allowed. Yeah.
I think that's legal. I'll allow it. Yeah. This game was outstanding, and it was very prototypical of what we've seen from the Rattlers over the years. But unfortunately, it was very prototypical for what we've seen from the Oilers over the years as well, where Rattlers always find ways. Even if they're down by a score, they'll find a way to utilize the clock to their advantage. Kevin Guy is one of the best in all of indoor football at clock management. They talk about it on commentary all the time, where he's like, I keep my 3 timeouts because I need to utilize the last minute of each half to the fullest. This is another prime example of that. And Tulsa choked away another lead. They had a lead against Orlando in the fourth quarter, a 9-point lead, I believe it was, choked it away and lost in overtime. They had, I think, a 10-point lead in this one. If not that, it was at least a 9-point lead. Choked it away and lost with a couple seconds left. So Tulsa on offense, TJ Edwards is throwing it around. Jermaine Smith is a machine. He's definitely the front runner for that all IFL wide receiver 1 slot at this time, with multiple 10-catch games. And Tulsa's one of those things where they're 1-3, but they're not a 1-3 team. But unfortunately, you are what your record is at this point. So they got to find ways to close out these games and to win some of these games where their one win is against San Antonio.
Like, the East is a bear. Like, that's the other thing that they have going against them, because Green Bay, Fishers, Jacksonville, Orlando, Quad City, and Tulsa, 2 of those teams are missing the playoffs, and they would all comfortably be the 4th playoff team in the West.
Yeah, that was something that Curtis Riggs mentioned on commentary. He said the West is a 3-team race. I think it's very understood. The West has 3 teams and then a 4th that's going to be making a cameo. You could make a case for any of the top 6 teams in the East to be making the playoffs at this point, just based on talent and how productive they have been so far.
Yeah.
What a game from Arizona. And interesting tidbit here that I want to throw in here, make sure that people know. Kevin Guy handed off play calling duties on offense to Peyton Riggs, son of Curtis Riggs, who has been the offensive coordinator in Arizona the past couple of years. Not bad first game calling plays. You score 64.
Great first game. No turnovers.
Not too shabby. Not
5
too shabby.
through the air, 4 on the ground. You love to see it. Good balance.
Do we see more of that? Do we see Kevin Guy focusing on the defense? Do we see Riggs taking the reins on offense moving forward? Wouldn't surprise me.
That's what you see out of the best teams. You see the best teams have a very clear offensive and defensive leader. So that way, if you're not on field calling plays, you're coaching your guys up, you're planning, you're strategizing. And I think that that's good to only have to play one side of the ball.
Yeah, and one more note on Arizona before we move on here. This three-headed monster of a rushing attack is going to be a problem down the stretch. Max Myler being that first head, Ron Brown Jr. being that second head, and Kamani Clark being that third head. The way they're able to rotate between Clark and Brown and not miss a beat, scary.
Max Myler tied for first in the IFL in touchdowns on the ground with 8. And, oh, by the way, tied for no, he's not tied for. He's not up there in passing touchdowns. He's going to be just outside the top 5.
Not yet. He'll be up there soon enough. But yeah, what Kimo Clark's able to do at running back, he's able to be like the lightning to Ron Brown Jr.'s thunder in some ways, where Ron Brown, he'll run you over, and he's got a little guitar dance that he does at a touchdown celebration. He'll do that right in your face, and Kimo will just run right by you. So this rushing attack, it's going to be a problem for teams down the stretch.
Yeah. Yep. Heading to Sunday, San Diego Strike Force, Nate Davis having a little bit of a resurgence here in the late career. Yeah. Some good football being played at that Front Wave Arena there, between the Strike Force and the Bombers.
Yeah, but between the two teams that play in that arena, there's some good quarterback play there, and it's crazy that they were both on the same team over the past couple of years. But this San Diego Tucson game, you want to talk about a slugfest in the beginning of this one. San Diego was coming off a 73-point game where they scored anytime they wanted against Quad City. They came into this one, they were only able to score 14 in the first half, and Tucson was making them earn every single yard of it. Fortunately for San Diego, Tucson has a massive problem at the quarterback position, and they couldn't capitalize. And San Diego was able to pull away while, Tucson was swimming in circles on offense, looking for answers and just struggling to find
23 yards through the air, and I don't think they broke 100. No, they didn't. I don't think they broke 100. If they did, it's just barely 100 offensive yards.
Yeah,
no, they didn't. 87 yards of offense out of Tucson. Like, great defensive effort from Tucson, but you got to figure something out offensively, guys. This is going to be trouble.
Incredible defensive performance by Tucson, and it's crazy to think about that when you're looking at a score where they gave up 48. It's like no, they've got nothing from their offense. The first points of the game they scored were a scoop and score where they ran it back, and they're like, all right, if y'all ain't going to score points, we're going to score points. Like, let's make this a ball game. They started Casey Otto at quarterback. Doesn't seem to be the guy. Draylon Ellis has a lot more upside for Tucson, but it just seems like he struggles to pull the trigger and to make a throw and to get it downfield. So he's a lot more athletic than Otto, but they need somebody in there that can pull the trigger and get it to these wide receivers. The wide receiver group in Tucson is very, very talented. They just need somebody that can get them the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. There are some guys out there. There are some guys available,
Yeah.
And then the game that was listed as a tie, but isn't a tie.
1,000% was not a tie. Yeah.
1,000% was not a tie. I'm being told. Yeah. So we got I believe the Sharks won. Yes.
They did. Yep. Sharks won 39-38. Jacksonville. This was a tough one for Jacksonville because typically the recipe for success is run with Jimmy Robinson, let James Cahoon fill in the gaps from there. Jimmy Robinson was getting stuffed. And so James Cahoon had to lead the way and make some plays down the stretch to seal this win for the Sharks. And that's what they were able to do. Quad City, personnel-wise, they have one of the most talented rosters in the IFL, but some of the decision-making and some of the coaching decisions are just puzzling at times. Just to paint the picture for you, I was watching this game. I couldn't stop thinking about this for an hour after the game, after I saw it happen. Quad City's defensive line was bullying the Sharks' offensive line on the last drive of the game. Breaking through at will, Keyshawn Moore doing his thing, sacking the quarterback, got them to a 4th and 15 on their own 5. So naturally, what do? They only rush 2 and drop one of their linemen back in coverage. That gave James Cahoon, one of the strongest arms in the IFL, time to find his guy, zip it downfield, get the first down, and ice the game.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like, go with what got you there. Like, you are killing these guys on the pass rush, and then you're like, no, we're good.
We're good.
We're going to give them all the time in the world.
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that has just been killing Quad City this year. Daquan Neal had a pretty good game through the air, 5 touchdowns, but he had some mistakes, interceptions, and a couple bobbled snaps that ended up in the loss of a lot of yards as well. So this Quad City team got to get out of their own way, but credit to the Sharks for going in and winning in a tough environment. Not many teams can go into Quad City and steal a win, but they were able to do it.
No, that was huge. And, and again, just that Jimmy Robinson, they did get him involved though. Like they got him the ball. They said, screw it. Let's get him in. He's on the ground isn't doing it. Let's get it to him in the air, kind of dump off screens anyways.
Yep.
You know who your guy is, stick with your guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Let's just, where you want to go? You want to go back to the NAL? You want to wrap it with the IFL? Cause we got a week to look ahead. Look ahead.
Yeah, let's stick with the IFL since we're here already.
We'll bookend it a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
5 games on Saturday, so another jam-packed day.
Yeah.
Just it's tough out here in these arena football streets right now. You got to have multiple screens going at multiple times, and we've got games starting every hour in the IFL: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Staggered starts, love it. Love a
staggered starts, and just one's starting, one's finishing. 2 games on Yahoo, 3 on overnight, and we get a banger to kick it off in the 5 p.m. slot with Green Bay and Fishers. Just
Fishers, man, at home. Fishers is another animal. I had a chance to go to that week 1 game against Quad City, and that environment was bumping. These 2 teams met earlier. Green Bay jumped on Fishers early, but Fishers battled back and nearly pulled off a near 30-point comeback in the second half. So it feels like you got to lean Fishers here based on that home field advantage being that tiebreaker. But it depends on Fishers at home versus Fishers away. 2 entirely different animals.
Fishers laying 4.5 points in this one. And the favorite on the money line. But I don't know. I'm going to have trouble betting against Liam Thompson now. It's just Liam Thompson, mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. Let me just bet. Let me just believe in this guy and Blizzball. I am a Blizzball at this point. And Blizzball is just, we were completely wrong. We thought they were going to be dull offensively, and Liam Thompson said, "Nuh-uh, I'm the MVP."
Yeah, he's been playing lights out. So this was going to be a tough game to pick. This is going to be a tough one. He luckily got a couple days.
Totals at 92.5 as well. Like, some anticipation for this one. Yeah, we could get a full Blizzball game though. Like, this could be also a 36-30 game.
If you told me the game was 36-30, I'd be like, yeah, that checks out. If you told me the game was 59-56, I'm like, yeah, checks out.
The total of the game is 84-82. Yeah, that tracks. Done.
Yeah, I see it. I see
no question. Yeah. Double ear explosion game almost.
This game being on Yahoo, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see that.
That's a great one. And we'll be able to pretty well focus in on it because I love the Barnstormers. It's a rivalry game, so you never know. But it feels like Quad City is set for a bounce back spot here.
This is a must-win game for Quad City. 1,000%.
Oh, they can't drop another game. They can't be 2 games below 500 in the East. You're in a world of hurt there.
You can't drop this one to Iowa if you're Quad City. This is an absolute must-win game for Quad City. Otherwise, they are in a heap of trouble. They're already in a little bit of trouble. They probably have to go 8-2 the rest of the way to be able to jockey for a playoffs position. Yeah, and you got to scoop up the easy ones like this. Was the number 13.5?
13.5. They are. That's a big number, but it feels doable.
Yeah,
and the 88.5 total feels. Can Iowa score enough to make that number valid?
That's the
like
trouble.
I feel like
Iowa.
that's an under. I feel like it's an underplay there.
The past couple of weeks, Iowa unders have been the play just because of exactly what you mentioned. Iowa has trouble scoring, and if they do score, it's on long, sustained drives. They're not killing you with a one-play 45-yard pass. That's just not the Iowa offense at this time. So Past 2 weeks, Iowa unders have been the play after Iowa overs were the immortal mega lock of the century last year, every single week. So yeah, I would probably lean on that under 88.5 because it feels like we're due for a Daquan Neal, Jared Ware, run the hell out of the ball type of game, and that's what Iowa has to do to make this competitive.
Yeah, and then another game that we're going to be interested in, but I think the Sharks will be able to handle business. But Jerome Johnson, I mean, you never know. Jerome Johnson is still I think a top 5 50-yard quarterback. Like,
yeah,
there aren't many quarterbacks I'm taking over Jerome Johnson at this stage across the indoor and arena game. Like the arena game as a whole, as we talk about. I'm going to be hard pressed. But unfortunately, it's Jerome Johnson and more Jerome Johnson in New Mexico, and that's about it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see the chemist. That's the nickname we're rolling with Jerome, the chemist. We're gonna have to see a full display of that in this one to really break through, because this Jacksonville Sharks team, they're rolling, they're going in the right direction. They only lost on seasons to Vegas, and that's pretty respectable in terms of looking at the resume as a whole to this point. So 18.5, that's a lot of points.
That's a big number. I think I'm going to take New Mexico in the points on this one.
I don't know, man. 18.5 is a big number, but I'm like, I see it.
You think they're going to win by 20?
Vegas was 17.5 last week. That's telling me
fine. I think Vegas is better than Jacksonville.
100%, which is why it's puzzling that Jacksonville gets an additional point. And then Vegas did.
Because New Mexico laid an egg last week. Like, you lay an egg like that, and that's going to follow you for a bit. Yeah,
and in New Mexico, they've got a tough uphill climb the rest of the season. If you notice, their first 3 games of the year were all home games.
Mm-hmm.
They only have 6 total home games because of the IFL Cup. That means over the last 15 weeks of the season, they have 3 home games and 8 away games and the IFL Cup.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an absolute
they have a tough
gauntlet.
They have a brutal schedule.
Very tough.
And it's tough because it's like, you like a lot of the things that they did, but like we said, they're missing some of those institutional pieces being an expansion team. They got the quarterback, but they don't have a lot of the other pieces, and that's where they're falling down.
Yeah, 81.5, that's a pretty low number. I might lean on the over there, because that 18.5, especially the thing with like the 17.5 and the 18.5s, the deuces, the rouges, all that makes this math very complicated and makes all these numbers very achievable for either side. So I probably go lean over on this one, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see when the official blog drops.
Yeah. And then we're heading over our next. We got 2 really good games that I want to watch in this one, and one that I want to watch out of morbid curiosity. But that's IFL After Dark joining AF1 After Dark. We're just going to say Arena Football After Dark. Anything that kicks off after 9 Eastern, I'm in. Dark. It's going to be weird. I'm in 100% Arena Football After Dark, 10 out of 10 every time, and twice on Sundays. The San Diego Strike Force and the Tulsa Oilers. Tulsa needs this one badly. Now,
they do.
I think is who's texting Trey talking about whatever take we just had. That's the great. I know that look down right there. I know that look down in focus.
I looked down just to make sure I wasn't getting anything. So good news. I haven't gotten anything.
Haven't gotten flagged by anybody. No one's been flagged by our employers, anybody. So we're in good shape. We're in good shape here.
As I was checking, I was like, what did I say? Did I say anything? Yeah, I think this Tulsa game is another must-win for Tulsa right now.
Because you dropped all arena football leagues. They are all
we love them all.
The best. They are all spectacular. The greatest things ever. I'm reading a script right now. No, I'm not. Don't tell them about the script.
Don't hurt me. Yeah, this Tulsa game I think is they're in a must-win right now.
Yeah.
If you drop to 1-4, you're in trouble.
Early must-win games for Quad City and Tulsa. And
very early.
Quad City has an easy one. Tulsa's got to go up against a tough Strike Force team. Like we said, Nate Davis having a little bit of a resurgence. He's not the lethal Nate Davis he once was, but he has those flashes. It's that he's that guy where he can still throw a haymaker, but if he can't get you with one or two, you got a better chance to survive.
Yeah, Nate's still doing his thing, and he just has such a talented wide receiver group in Jalen Sample, Dallas Daniels, Cole Blackman's been out for a little bit with injury, but he'll be coming back. And then you got Ed Vander, hashtag Feed Vander, coming out of the backfield. So plethora of weapons for San Diego as well. And this is the most compelling matchup of the weekend for me, is this San Diego team going to Tulsa to face this Tulsa Oilers team. So I think this is as pure of a toss-up as you can get, just because, like I said, Tulsa's not a 1-3 team. You don't look at the scoreboard, you just look at how this team has played so far. They are drastically underperforming only because of their late game management. They've lost their 3 games by a total of 9 points.
And that's why this is a 2.5 point spread.
Yeah,
because I think
it's tough.
I like home field feels like it's 4.5. That 3.5, 4.5. That feels right in the IFL. So San Diego might be a little better. So Tulsa's not getting the full points.
Yeah.
But so you can get the Strike Force at plus odds on the money line, and I love that play here. This also feels like it could be just like a slugfest. So over 88.5, I don't love. I think I'm going to be under that as long as it stays over like 84.
Yeah, the Tulsa defense hasn't been great this year overall, but where they have been great was at home when they took on Fishers and held Fishers to 40.
Yeah,
and that's quite a feat, right? So, it feels like it could be one of those slugfest games, like you said.
Yeah, and then IFL After Dark joining AF1 After Dark. We got a 9 p.m. game. And that's great. I love that. Gunslingers at Sugar Skulls. Anything can happen. 1.5 point line on DraftKings, and the total is at 78.5, which means this could be a 100-point game where each team scores 60, and I wouldn't bat an eye because it's IFL After Dark. Just no questions.
In order to get to 60, you got to have the ability to have a forward pass. And unfortunately,
you don't. No, you don't.
And
you can turn the ball over every time, and the defenses can score.
That's fair.
It's IFL After Dark, Trey.
We've seen
just be old wing team football just in the arena.
Yeah. This is going to be a brutal
Give me
watch.
the triple. This is the game we see the triple option. Service Academy football right now.
The fact that this is the nightcap is terrifying. This is going to be one of the games of all time. I can confirm that.
I don't know why, but I just know it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, I think it all depends. I think it all depends who they trot out at quarterback for Tucson. Like I would feel better if they brought out Ellis, but again, like I said earlier,
okay,
Ellis has got to be willing to pull the trigger.
Hear me out here. Jonathan Bain coaches San Antonio and plays quarterback for Tucson because it's IFL After Dark and all rules are off. I would watch that game.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. And then that brings us to Sunday I have co-games of the weekend this year in the arena space, and this is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We got Rattlers and we got Nighthawks. 7:30. Yahoo Sports. Do we get like a countdown to this game? Like, can we get a pregame show build up here? Because it feels like that big of a game in the early season. Between Sunday night indoor football, the Western Conference is going to be between. Like, we think the Western Conference is going to come down to these two teams.
Yeah, it's Sunday night indoor football. It's arguably the premier matchup of all indoor and arena football this weekend. And yeah, to plus 10.5 for Arizona I think that might be the only time you ever see that line. And plus 270 on the money line for Arizona, I don't think you'll ever see that again too. So out of principle, it feels like you got to lean Arizona, but this Vegas team is unbelievable.
I think the 10.5 feels way too big.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be much closer. I
think that's where the value is for sure.
I think this is going to be a one-score game because it doesn't matter because Arizona has Max Mailer, and Max Mailer might be the best quarterback in the arena game right now. Might be. I don't know for sure. Might be though.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, but yeah, 10.5 just feels way too much. If I would be coin flipping if it was like 6.5, 7.5, but 10.5, it seems like there's a little bit of value there.
Yeah. And then so that's the IFL coming up on the IFL Cup, so that's going to be exciting. Coming up in a couple weeks here. Heading over to AF1. We got 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And, we can have a little bit of second screen action here, watching the Albany Firebirds head out to take on the Washington Wolfpack at Angel of the Winds Arena. This could be a tough one. This could be a tough one to watch.
The final last year was 98-12.
Yep.
Am I remembering right?
Yep. Albany might want another 100-point game.
The saving grace for Washington is that the defense has been playing
The defense has been playing well. The defense has been playing well, but this is the best offense in arena football, potentially in the entirety of the arena football space. Like, as we went through earlier, they have 4 guys, and oh, by the way, they added Aaron Dilworth too. Don't forget about that. Like, they still have a 5th receiver. Like, oh my God, there's a 5th one. Just, we'll see. I mean, I will say, Ave Magalai played well. Unfortunately, he faces an Albany defense that got better because they signed Chase Alasakis today, because the pass rush wasn't good enough, apparently. So they said, let's go get a guy who was top 5 in sacks last year in AF1. Let's just get even better. Hashtag Corpus Christi Tritons live, making contributions on several teams here. But it's just, I think this one could get out of hand very early. And I can't say much else about that, but
it is what it is. And I think a lot of people have,
it's a brutal stretch for Washington on their schedule. Like, to play Oregon, who's tough, but then to go Nashville, Albany, just absolute. And then guess what? They go to Beaumont next weekend. They play 3 teams that were in championship games in their first 4 weeks.
Yeah. It's a tough stretch, but Washington has the pieces to at least make it competitive, maybe for the first 20, 30 minutes.
Score some offensive points, get going. Ave starts to find his rhythm, feel comfortable in the pocket. Offensive line, they got some reinforcements coming in. So it'll be interesting. Then
the next one is what I have circled as the tickle in the brain a little bit.
I mean, this falls in a nice spot on our 50-yard football watching this weekend, because we can have 2 screens going here. It's not competing against the big 8:00 game, the good 8:00 game yet. And all-time quarterback matchup, Dalton Cole versus Malik Henry, just complete opposite sides of the spectrum. You couldn't create in a lab more opposite quarterbacks, I think. But both are a vibe. Both are a vibe, just very different vibes.
Well, I mean, they do have some similarities, and one is the back foot king, one is the back foot prince in terms of how they deliver the ball down the field at times. So, if you want to start the counter at home when you're watching this game, please do. But what Dalton Cole is able to do,
Arena Football Weekly, Off the Wall, Alt Fantasy Sports, Adam, Trey are not liable if you participate in a back foot drinking game. Not at all.
We are not. But it's Michigan has the weapons to really be impactful, but it's about the Jekyll and Hyde of Malik Henry. The good thing is
that this Oregon defensive line isn't that Minnesota defensive line. Freddie Booth-Lloyd is a monster, but if you can get away from him, you have a little bit more time than you will against that Minnesota defensive line. Chai Hill is just a beast coming from wherever he is, whether it's the edge or the max. So then I can't pick this one because this one just feels like it could be weird. I wish it was at 9:00 so we could label it an AF1 after dark game. Unfortunately, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Rules are rules. We can't.
This has AF1 after dark vibes.
Yes, It's
but
coded.
it's gonna be too light. Yeah. It's on the black turf though, so it's a little bit like nighttime vibes.
There you
Beautiful turf, by the way, there in Michigan.
Looks great.
Absolutely,
yeah,
gorgeous.
looks really good.
Take notes. All other arena teams, take notes on that turf.
100%. Yeah.
Then Sunday we got bangers in AF1. And that Nashville Cats Kentucky Barrels game leading into the 7:30 game on Yahoo Sports is spectacular because we get to find out if Shea Spencer's for real. That's the biggest question right now. Is Shea Spencer for real?
Yeah.
And what do these two teams look like? This is our first top tier matchup. We said preseason, Nashville, Kentucky, Albany are the top tier. Everybody else is trying to prove they belong with them. And so we get to see two top tier teams go at it this weekend in AF1. And I love that. And again, I love that it leads into the 7:30 game between the top tier in the West and the IFL.
Yeah. This is going to be a really good matchup because you look at roster wise, we talked about it in our preview of the AF1, right? Where, that tier 1 is the Albany, Kentucky, Nashville. Whatever order you want to put it in, that's on you. But that's the tier 1 of this AF1 league. So the fact that we get this matchup is really awesome. And to your point, you look at the strength on strength where the offensive line of Kentucky, pretty dang good. The defensive line of Nashville, pretty dang good. You flip sides of the ball, you can say the same thing for Nashville's offensive line and Kentucky's defensive line, right? So wide receiver weapons aplenty for both teams, quarterbacks that can push the ball downfield, but I think Shea Spencer is the X factor here. What do we see out of him again in his first, I don't want to say real test, but
this is his first real test. He's going to play the best defense he's played all year, and he has to show up and play spectacularly because, I will say the thing that helps Shea Spencer is he has more depth of weapons than Tyler Koka does, which is a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
But
right.
Jalen Marshall, Des Epps, Shiloh Flanagan, and Darius Prince, the Barrels are just okay, he's covered. Cool. He's open. Oh, those two are covered. That guy's open. Just screw it. Somebody's open. One of those four will always be open. And the Cats, yes, BJ Smith had a game, and Malik Honeycutt is always going to be open. But I trust the Cats receivers a little less. I like them. They're not bad. But I think the Barrels are, if not the best, the second best receiver room in AF1.
Yeah,
they might be better. This is going to sound wild. They might be better than Albany. And the limiting factor is the quarterback. Shea Spencer might not be as good as Josh Koka. Dwayne Brown, best receiver in AF1.
Yes.
Malik Honeycutt, second best receiver in AF1.
He's up there, yeah.
Darius Prince, Jalen Marshall, our top 5. Are you putting somebody else above those guys?
I like Isaiah Scott. I like Tyrese Chambers a lot.
If Isaiah Scott and Tyrese Chambers weren't playing with Dwayne Brown, are they that good? Are they at that same level?
Yeah.
Then
that's fair.
Can you name me 4 more receivers you'd rather have than Shiloh Flanagan?
I love what Kentucky's doing with Shiloh Flanagan because they put him at Jack linebacker, and when he puts his arms out, good luck.
This is
good luck.
I love this is like fantasy GM Adam for his arena team is just I want one of my receivers to be 6'6", and I'm just gonna play him at Jack to just cut passing lanes down and knock the ball down, make some stops. I want a big lanky Jack. And I want I want a big corner who can also play Jack.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And then I don't actually want a Mac. I want 4 edge rushers or 3 edge rushers and a DT. I have my roster philosophy. I don't know if it would work. Arena teams, if you need a GM, call me. I have my philosophy locked down here.
He has ideas,
arena code. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you stay ready, you don't got to be ready.
That's right.
But it's that fascinating, like, and the guy who really did it is Gary Thomas, I think, the past couple of years in Southwest Kansas. Because remember,
Mhm.
we got some Jarris Grissom Jack moments for the
Yeah.
Southwest Kansas Storm, and he was spectacular at Jack.
Right.
Because he was smart. He was reading the lines. He's big, he's long, and now he's, a receiving threat for the Arsenal. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's just that versatility and that kind of like throwback Iron Man mentality that not a lot of teams have, where they're cross-training some of these guys. Sed Walker's a big one to do it. And Damon Ware does it a little bit. They did a little bit more with Marcus Wade. Wait, was it Marcus Wade? Who's the guy who's in Jacksonville? Marcus Wade, right?
Marquel Wade.
Marquel Wade. Marquel Wade would play some DB and some
Yeah.
receiver, and that was good. And so, like, they did it a little bit there, but it's just those guys offer you that added positional flexibility that's big, and it feels like it's Jack and big receiver and fullback and Mac. That's like
Right.
That's the combo you want to nail. If you can nail a fullback Mac combo, you're in real good shape.
Yeah.
So that we digress. Ball talk, but that's what you're here for. You're here for the ball talk.
Yeah.
But we cap it off on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Minnesota Monsters, Oceanside Bombers. It's going to be interesting. Like, that's going to be a tough game for Minnesota going out there with how good Oceanside has been playing. Like, Rudy Johnson, again, I apologize immensely for all the slander preseason, and I'll call it slander. I'll call it like it is. It was slander. Yeah. Rudy Johnson. I was not familiar. I thought I was familiar with your game, but you have proved me so wrong. And Jalen Tucker and Tajay Brooks, spectacular. Love it. Like, great receiver duo.
Rudy Johnson's been throwing the ball very, very, very well, and he's not
think he had it in him.
One or two. He's throwing ropes out there. Like, he's getting it out to the outside. He's throwing it downfield. He's hitting his guys in stride. Oh, and he can fake a handoff and beat anybody on the field to the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. He is just so dynamic, and I think they're utilizing him the perfect way. Play calling wise, Oceanside is really spicing it up. Seems like they got a trick play in their bag every week. It's just a matter of when it comes out, not if. But yeah, for Minnesota, does Javonte Johnson make the trip? Is he fully healthy? Is he enough of a go to go against Oceanside? I think that's the biggest question mark for Minnesota right now, because defensively, on that defensive line, they can make some noise and be disruptive and potentially get Rudy Johnson on the run. But is that really the best thing, to get somebody that dynamic on the run?
No, it's not. That's the last thing I want, is to get Rudy Johnson in space.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Oceanside's, I got, like, if I could bet on that, I would bet on Oceanside in that game. So that wraps that up. Again, we talked about AF1, Albany, the rich get richer, Chase Alasakis, because, again, apparently they weren't happy with their pass rush. Love that for Chase. Great kid. Very excited. I won't waste our off-field comment on my joke there. But
okay, good. Yeah,
because we need it here, because at some point we got to talk about the Dallas Bulls, and I'm going to keep confidential information confidential, but let's just say,
who could have possibly seen this coming?
Who could have possibly seen this coming? I can neither confirm nor deny that I had conversations with Dallas Bulls people last year when I worked for AF1, and I can neither confirm nor deny that when someone said they were going to the NAL, I may or may not have laughed hysterically and said they won't make it.
Surely it'll work the second time, and it did not.
For the reasons it never got off the ground the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Dallas off the schedule the rest of the year, out of the NAL, and credit to the NAL for making the quick adjustments schedule wise. But I would be remiss if I said that if I didn't say the timing was interesting. And why is the timing interesting? Who did Dallas play last week, Adam?
A certain 0-5 team.
So it just so happens Beef get their first win and then they're shelved. It feels like they probably could have been shelved a week earlier.
For those of you wondering if this is a second off-field comment, I'm considering this a sub-bullet of the larger off-field comment.
Yes.
So it falls
one
under
big
that.
comment.
It's one big comment. There are no periods in here. This is just a hell of a lot of semicolons.
It's a run-on sentence.
Commas, M dashes. No. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a run-on sentence. It's artistically woven.
Yeah.
It's prose. It's beauty. It's beautiful.
So
if you saw this written visually, it'd be beautiful to read.
It's just the timing is interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's interesting. Omaha got
That's
the
all
win.
I'm saying. Interesting.
Why did they do that?
Why did they do that?
Why did they do that? I just think it's interesting. The timing is just. It is what it is. You read between the lines. You make that decision.
Speaking of the NAL, 3 games this weekend, all on Saturday, all kicking off right around 7:00 Eastern. Interestingly enough, and the game of the weekend, Pueblo and Colorado. Love a good Colorado clash. Pueblo's reeling. Colorado's trying to find their footing without Paxton Lynch. So we'll see. Like, it's a whole bunch of we'll see there with Colorado, and because Southwest Kansas feels like they should handle Amarillo, and Salina feels like they should handle Louisiana. But Louisiana's been scrappy lately.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Like, it's just that. We'll see. Can Louisiana get enough under them to win some games here?
Yeah, the Pueblo-Colorado matchup is I've said interesting a ton over the past 10 minutes or so. So Pueblo-Colorado is the most intriguing. I'll switch it up a little bit of all of the NAL games this week, because Pueblo hot start, kind of declining. Colorado rough start.
Kind of is an understatement. Pueblo has gone frigid down the stretch, and again, Aaron Dilworth being gone hurts. Joel Shaw's still good, but they don't have what they had offensively, and Josh Hollins has definitely taken a big step back so far.
It feels like both teams are doing this right now, and they're meeting in the middle right now. So this is going to be a big moment for either Pueblo to use this as a bounce back, or it's going to be a big moment for Colorado to keep going up, right? So, yeah, this is going to be a pivotal game. And then with the Dallas Bowl situation, we get it again next week with the reschedule. So we get the same matchup back to back, and
love it.
This is going to be a critical juncture for both of these teams at this point in the season.
Yeah. I think that wraps it up. There is IAL action. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Watch some IAL if you are so inclined.
At your own risk.
At your own risk.
Arena Football Weekly, Alt Fantasy Sports Off the Wall. We are not. You are on your own accord investigating what is the IAL.
Yes. Some stuff in the chat. Hi from Sea Dog to Goat. No word if he made it all the way to the end. Krish being Krish, and we used our off-field comment.
There it is. Yep.
Will Rob Keefe end up somewhere else? See previous statement. But I know if in Adam's hypothetical arena football team, Rob Keefe would definitely be on my list of coaches right now.
1,000%. Yeah.
Hello, gents. Welcome back. Love to see it from the world of football. We'll have to get them on. There are a couple of ball knowers. We could get the world of football on here. We could do it's a mega show, a mega quad box show. Could be interesting. Or we might have to get to the same place as them and just do it all in person.
Yeah.
Eric Raleigh, first time on a live show. Glad you came. Hope you had a brew and enjoyed Bud's talking ball. And Rookie X summed it up right there for Dallas. And that we made our comment on that already.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Eric Rowley, quick comment on him. I don't know if this counts as an off-the-field comment, but he does great work on Instagram. He makes Indoor Football League football cards.
Ooh.
He made these for me. You got a little Jerome Johnson.
That's gorgeous.
Right?
No, that's on field. That's ball. That's ball
Brandon
pictures
Mackey,
right there. Gorgeous.
Jamez Kimbrough. So he made a bunch of people that
he had some AFL there too. Let's go.
Yeah, he made a bunch of cards for people that have been on the show before. So go give him a follow. He's a very good follow. He posts stuff like this all the time. So
love it.
Low plug for Eric Riley.
Love it. Love it. Trey, anything you need to plug coming up?
We'll have an episode of Off the Wall coming later this week, dropping on Friday. We'll be at the IFL Cup in a couple of weeks for the first round, the Monday games. So we'll be there. Got a lot of fun stuff planned for that, and I'm going to meet and interact with a ton of people. And you might hear the kid's voice during one of the games in one way or another. So little teaser there for you. But it's a very fun weekend of indoor and arena football ahead of us, and I'm excited for it to get started.
Listen, while you're watching that this weekend, it sounds like we're finally ready to unveil 50-yard fantasy over on Alt Fantasy Sports. So you'll be able to merge your IFL and AF1 friends into one thing and make them interact and be nice to each other. You can select one league player pool, or you can combine them both, which is what I know I'll be making Trey do. Trey, quick, rapid fire, standard scoring. Who's your 101 in your 50-yard fantasy AF1/IFL?
I probably lean, honestly, Jaden DeLora from Vegas is a clean one, because he can spread the ball around and he can throw touchdowns in bunches. But Liam Thompson at the same time.
Liam Thompson, we were not familiar with your name, sir.
Yeah. God, there's so many good ones. Yeah, I'm excited to get in the mix with that.
The quarterbacks are going to be great. The quarterbacks are going to be spectacular. That's going to be that's going to be the golden goose right there. No, I think I'm going to be hard pressed to not pick Max Mailer, or I might have to just go full. I was not familiar with your game, Rudy Johnson, and just take him 101. Like, that just feels like it could be the guy.
Well, I mean, we're overlooking the easiest 1-1 possible, Josh Kolka at Washington.
Josh Kolka you got to draft for the season, though. It's not just a 1 week off. Josh Kolka gets this game, but is Josh Kolka going to do that the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Is it Shea Spencer?
Strategy.
I feel like the whole first round is going to be quarterbacks, and then it's going to be interesting just to see what receivers you take and how you build your flex out. High scoring, no shortage of points being had. So 50-yard fantasy football, get ready for it. We'll be dropping some more news on that, hopefully in the coming days. Hopefully you can draft during that jam-packed Saturday night. So that's Trey. I'm Adam, and we will see y'all next week.
That ball right over top of the defender, and more importantly, held onto it through the contact of the wall. Touchdown truck
In the slot and near side. And he gets dropped by Nick Evans. Nick, the pain and the punishment. The ball is loose. Here comes Riverius Rivers, and Rivers into the end zone. And the gunsling.
Here's 3rd and 9. They are all 1 and 3rd down conversions. Kolka has running room. Elects to flip it in the corner of the end zone.
Motion up top. Atkins out of the end zone. Atkins will flip it. Got a receiver and flips over the wall